Welcome everyone to Roll, Release, Recover pre-run warm-up. So this is what ideally you would do before you're going to go out for a run. It's not deep stretching, it's warming up the muscles. So I have a bunch of things here. I have a foam roller, I have some therapy balls. You can use lacrosse balls or tennis balls. This is a peanut ball. This, if you guys know me, this is one of my favorite ones. It's like 2 lacrosse balls that are combined. I also have a small ball. You can use a golf ball, or if you have melt balls. So ideally what you would do is you would start with your feet. You'd start standing up, but the way my video is configured right now, I'm not going to stand up, otherwise you won't be able to see me. Although this feels really good. And you're going to roll out the bottoms of your feet. And what we're going to do is we're going to work from our feet up to our glutes, and then you'll be on your merry way. You don't have to spend a lot of time on each area. You can probably spend a minute on each body part. And the idea is that we're foam rolling and we're going to be using these therapy balls, any kind of compression to warm up the area. It's like a warm-up pack. And then you'll be ready to go out and go for your run. So we're going to start with our feet, and if you were standing up, you would be working the front part of the arch, the back part of the arch, kind of the base of each of the toes. You can also do this sitting down, just like I'm doing. Feels really good. And there's certain parts of the body that I think foam rolling is really great at, and there's certain parts of the body that I think the therapy balls work better at. But I'm going to demonstrate with both just in case you only have a foam roller at home. Okay, so, and you can pause this at any time. I want you to stay on your feet as long as it feels good. Work the inside of the arch, work the outside of the arch. Then we're going to work our way up. We're going to start with our calves. So if you have a roller, you're going to put your calf on the roller, cross one leg over, lift your hips and kind of work your way. I like to start at the top of the calf and avoid behind the knee. You want to avoid the highly innervated areas when you're rolling, like the armpit, back of the knee, any bony areas or any bruises or broken skin. Definitely want to stay away from the back of the knee. And our techniques with our roller are to roll or plow, to pin and compress, which means you're just going to stay in that tight spot right here. I'm going to just stay in this tight spot right here, and then cross friction. So you would be going the opposite direction of the way a muscle would run. So I'm thinking that my calf muscle's running this way. So by rocking my calf from side to side, I'm kind of cross frictioning the muscle fibers in there. You want to go slow. You want to pause on any tight spots. You want to breathe, and you want to repeat. You want to go back to anything that feels like I'm going to move to the other leg. So I've demonstrated, you keep going, I'm going to demonstrate what it's like on there. I really like the peanut ball for your calf, so you can work from all the way at the bottom on the ankle, the Achilles tendon, and I'm kind of pressing with my hands and leaning my body weight forward and working my way up. You've got the soleus down there at the bottom. I'm externally rotating my leg with my toes off to the side, internally rotating with my toes in, and working the ball up the calf muscle, getting all the way up to the top of the calf muscle, just like I said, avoiding behind the knee. And I'm going to rock from side to side, and I'm going to switch sides. So you can do this with a single ball. Same thing, you can make little circles, you can wiggle from side to side, you can move your body up and down. I think the balls, personally, are much better at doing fascia release and warming up the muscles for the calf. That's just my personal preference. Like I said, when you're getting ready to go for a run, you're getting ready to work out, just about a minute in each area is really about all you need to do. So with the therapy balls, you can do the same thing. You can roll, you can do just little mini movements and just kind of rocking back and forth, doing the cross fiber like we did before. You can just pin and drape like we did before, and then I'll show you a trapping motion where we'll kind of trap the muscle and trap the muscle fibers once we kind of get up to the glute area. Okay, so this is our calf. That's great. Actually, I'm going to show you one more thing. You're going to take a single ball, if you have one, or the double ball, and you're going to sit and you're going to take the ball and you're going to trap it behind your knee, but down a couple inches, and sit up real tall and hug your calf muscle into your hamstring and lean forward slightly. This is a really, really good calf exercise. You can do the same thing with the peanut ball, and you can work your way down. It's kind of a double whammy. I'm kind of compressing the muscle, the connective tissue and the muscle fiber in the hamstring and the calf at the same time. So I'm just kind of working from the big part of the calf muscle. This is definitely one of my favorites. I do like the single ball the best behind here because you can kind of wiggle from side to side and kind of move the ball in little mini movements and kind of get it around in the back of that calf. So that's a real good one. I think you're gonna like that. Okay, so we're gonna work our way up to our shins. So the peanut ball is great for shins. You can bend your knee, kind of a 90-degree angle here, and work the outer part of the shin. I'm leaning forward, I'm just kind of rolling. I'm rolling all the way from my ankle up to the outer part of the shin, avoiding the knee. You don't want to roll right directly on the knee. The other thing to do here is to flip over onto the other hip to work the inside of the shin. So my shin is parallel to the ground, my foot is lifted, and I'm just kind of rolling from back and forth. When I feel a tight spot, I can just kind of rest here and maybe wave my knee. The other option would be if you were working on a roller, you would do the same thing. So you would sit on one hip, lower down onto your forearm, kind of lift your foot. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the muscles on either side of the shin bone, but you want to stay off of the shin bone because it doesn't feel good to roll right on top of your bones. So that would be working our way up to our shins. And then we're going to go to the hamstring. So like I said, about a minute in each spot would be great. You can definitely do your hamstrings with the roller. The way you would do that is pop up, cross your legs, wiggle from side to side, shift your hips back and forth. Notice my hands are underneath my shoulders, my belly button is pulled in. So you can definitely do that. I like the balls better for the hamstring. So if you have a single ball, you can sit right on that ball just below your sit bone so that your sit bone is just on the back of that ball, and kind of wiggle your butt and wiggle your thigh from side to side and work that ball kind of on a cross fiber all the way down the back of the hamstring. Ooh, that feels good. I'm pressing with my hands to take some of the weight off. I don't want there to be so much pain that I can't breathe. The other option is to use your peanut ball. I'm going to switch to the other leg. I'm going to start up real high, and I'm just going to sit right on that ball, right on that double ball. I don't even have to move. I can point and flex that ankle, kind of engaging the hamstring and getting some mobility in the back of the leg. That changes things a lot. And I'm just going to work my way down the back of the hamstring. I really like the double ball for the back of the hamstring. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to maintain healthy muscle tissue. And we're working on that by getting through the fascia, which surrounds, connects, supports, and separates our muscles, our internal organs, our tendons and ligaments, bones, and other structures. It's in constant communication with the rest of our body. So it's a really good to focus on the connective tissue as well as like when we work on stretching muscles. Okay, so let's work our way up and get to our quadriceps. I do love the roller for the quadriceps. So you're going to come into a forearm plank. You're going to draw your belly button in. Bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. You can leave your toes down on the ground. You can lift your toes and point your toes to the back. So we have quadriceps. We have 4 muscles here. So we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of the quad, staying off of the knee, and then we're going to come up high towards the hip flexor at the top. There's a couple different things that you can do here. You can rest your upper body down, and you can bend and extend one knee. This is quite a lot of sensation here. And you're gonna move nice and slow. You can do that. You can spread your legs out nice and wide. I have a small roller, I have a short roller. If you have a wider, longer roller, you can bring your legs out wider. And you can go toes in, and that's gonna make it so that you're getting more of the quadricep muscle on the inside of your thighs. And you can roll here. You can go heels in, toes out. And you can go toes in, heels out, and it really changes things. If you feel a sticky spot, you can just pause right on it and do what we said before, which was just kind of a pin and just drape right over that muscle. And you can slowly begin to bend and extend one leg. So we're applying our body weight to our foam roller, and it's compressing our muscles. This sends a signal to the brain to downregulate the system and to relax that muscle. And if there's any trapped chemicals or anything that's in there at this point, it's an opportunity for those chemicals to kind of flush, like any lactic acid buildup or anything like that. And it allows fresh oxygen and fresh blood to get into that area. Okay, so we've done our quadriceps. Now we're going to flip over and we're going to work our glutes. So let's start with the ball first. So if you have a dual ball, if you have this double peanut ball, you're gonna sit on it so you can kind of still see my ball. And I'm sitting down and I'm just gonna pick up my hips and roll from side to side, kind of going over on one side of the sit bone, cross the bridge and kind of do the inner part of the inside of the sit bone, but not right on the sit bone. You can also sit and trap the ball. You can do this with a double ball, you can do it with a single ball, tennis ball or lacrosse ball. Hands behind, and if you flare your leg, flare your hip, and move that around with it trapped in here, it's gonna really get to the glute. It's really gonna get to the glutes in here. Feels really good. So foam rolling and therapy ball work takes us back to our flexibility baseline. So if we combine this with stretching, we can really make a lot of strides. The option for our glutes when we're on our foam roller is we lift up. I want to work the right side, so I'm going to bring the right leg into figure 4. I'm going to drop that right knee towards the right. And I'm going to roll out my glute here. I can roll the direction of the muscle fibers here. I can rock and span from side to side. I can scoot the roller up kind of towards my low back, high glute, low back, right around the inner hip area. I can also sweep and bend and extend. Good. So that kind of brings us all the way from our feet to our hips to our glutes. Not going to do the low back and the upper back. I'm going to do one part of the upper back. You can bring your head behind your hands and your hand behind your head. Hips are down, and you're just going to arch your spine and lift, and then lift your hips. You're going to start at the top of the shoulders and just work your way down, one vertebra at a time. If you're lucky, you might get a little adjustment. Pull your belly button in, elbows are nice and wide. Just then you can lift your hips and roll from the top of the shoulders down. You really want to avoid the rib cage. And then press yourself up, and you're ready for your run. See you for the post-run cool down and stretch. Bye.